Hello everyone. Welcome to my Simon Says Stamp DieCember 2019 release and review. I have almost everything here. I have been die cutting all day. I've been die cutting all day so I can show you guys all of the things and all, yeah. So if you're not familiar, in December, Simon has a DieCember. And this entire release is Wafer Dies. And then, yeah, let's just get right into it. So, first off is they released a coordinating wafer die set for the ORNATE alphabet set. This came out some time ago, and people kept requesting coordinating wafer dies, which I'm excited about that, because something like this I would 100% prefer to have the coordinating dies rather than sit and fussy cut all of these letters, so you can stamp them, emboss them, and now there is a coordinating wafer die set to die cut out all of these letters. So we've got that one, and then we have this set was released with I think this was in the November card kit. This is the Woodland WHIMSY stamp set, and same thing, coordinating wafer die set. People kept requesting, so you can die cut all the little critters as well as all the little greenery and the banner. So that's now available. So you've got all the little coordinating wafer dies for that. So we have that, and like I said, I've got like piles, so let's just jump into whatever's closest. So we've got the large outline thanks wafer die. Okay, I wanted to grab an A2 card base so that I can show you guys, you know, the size. So it will cut out this whole piece and then the letters along with an outline. So I just die cut it once each from black and white cardstock and then just switched the outline in between each of them. And then I just taped the back with washi tape to hold it in place. But yeah, it'll give you an idea as how this will take up, you know, kind of the bulk of your A2 size card. You do some pattern paper, you know, all that kind of stuff. It would look great. I really like this one. This one I think is going to be quite popular. I can never have enough thank you sentiments, and I like ones like that are different. So that's the large outline thanks wafer die. And then we have the Hello Crafty Friend sentiment, and again, words and the outline so that it creates just like that. So really like that. So we have the Hello Crafty Friend, and along with that one, we have a really good, the one thing I didn't die cut, I'm running out of time here. We have the Art Supplies wafer die set, and I thought that went so well with the Hello Crafty Friend sentiment as well. But what I really love about this is you have your little palette, so you can die cut this from, you know, white cardstock, etc. And then you can back all the circles with either pattern paper, but I was thinking like doing little watercolor swatches would look really cute. So you could do that. The brush actually has 3 parts. So you have the brush wafer die, the bristles, and then this would be the ferrule, which is still connected right here. I didn't want to lose it, so I just kept it connected to this. So that way you can layer them, so you can die cut them all from different colors and then layer them to get a little more of a realistic look. And then you have the scissors. So you have the base of the scissors, which I would cut from like a silver foil. And then you have the handles are a separate wafer die, so you can die cut them from whatever color you want. Again, customize it. So isn't that cute? I think that's so cute. And yeah, I need to, my initial thought immediately is like, I want to die cut this, of course, from watercolor. You just do little watercolor swatches. I think that would look so adorable. So that's the Hello Crafty Friend and the Art Supplies wafer dies. And then another sentiment is the best is yet to come. Same thing. It is a word die and then the outline, so that they layer nicely together. And it's another one that's very like large, can be the focus of your images and all that stuff. So Yeah, really like that one. So that was that one. And then we have several of the filigree, like intricate wafer dies. Like I said, I've been die cutting all day. I've got the Shimmer Oval. And the cool thing with a bunch of these is they have the like detail filigree, and then the outline is separate because it will die cut basically a window. So you've got a window and it has like the stitching around it, and in this case, like it's a double stitching line. And then you've got the filigree piece. So I die cut this from the white cardstock and then ran it through again with a filigree piece to create that. The nice thing is you could do, you know, this from like say the card base itself, die cut and get all the detail and then just layer this on top. You know, or do how these were, you know, when they first started coming out from Simon, these types of dies, is just die cut them and then back it with a different color of cardstock, or use just this, you know, with some pattern paper behind it, etc. So just more options having them as separate wafer dies, so you can kind of do all sorts of things. So that one is the Shimmer Oval. And then the rest of them I didn't pop out like every single little piece, but we have the Shimmer Wreath, which is several wafer dies again. So you have the outer circle that die cuts again with the double stitching around the perimeter, and then the inner circle to create the wreath piece, and then the wafer die to die cut all of the little intricate floral pieces, which of course you can just pop out. I like using with ones like this, I like putting them on a piece of foam and then rolling them with my little tool in one from Spellbinders. And then it all starts coming out rather than sitting and going, you know, with a pokey tool. That takes too long. I just use this, roll it over the back, and it pops everything out. So I will link to this. I always forget sometimes to link to all of the things, but I will link to that. So that one's the Shimmer Wreath. So we've got that one. Then we have some shapes here. We have the Shimmer Snowflake, same thing. The outline that die cuts, that's backwards. The outline that die cuts with the double stitch line, and then the snow, and it leaves the snowflake, and then the separate piece. So again, two large wafer dies that end up with that. Like, isn't that just gorgeous? And here's the A2, like this is an A2 piece on its own, just to give you an idea of how big these are. So yeah, and this one I really like how it just kind of curls on its own, so it's like you could just adhere just the center and let back it with a bright color of cardstock, and then let all these ends just kind of curl up like that. Just gives it a little bit of extra dimension. So that's the Shimmer Snowflake. And then we have the Shimmer Butterfly. Same thing. Two wafer dies, the outline that cuts the window with the double stitch line, and then the butterfly piece. So this on its own does not cut on an edge. All it has is the stitch line along the edges that it creates. This is the piece that cuts the actual shape or window, depending on what you want to do. So this just cuts detail. So really, you could use just this and die cut like multiple times. So you'd get the stitch line and the pieces, but it would all stay in the card. You know, just really pretty. Always a sucker for butterflies, of course. So that's the Shimmer Butterfly. Got that one. And then we have another Filigree Message Oval. So this is the one that does not have the wafer die cut. Now I wonder, will this work with the oval? Getting like ahead of myself again. Oh, there you go. So you could use that with this one. If you wanted this to be its own piece, you could die cut this from the cardstock with this oval. Just I was just curious. So yeah, that does actually work. But same idea. Instead of cutting like this, just cuts a design. You can kind of see them side by side. This one cuts a different design and it leaves a blank space right there with the intent. That's where you would add like your sentiment. Either you could adhere a die cut sentiment or you can just stamp a sentiment right there. And same thing, you can pop all these out. I just only did some of them. But yeah, back it with cardstock, back it with glitter paper, all those things. So that was the Filigree oval. So we got that one. And then we have, this is really cute. This is the Fortune Cookie Wafer Die set. So there's 2 wafer dies in this set. So you've got this one that has a funny little like kind of slit in it, and then just a solid one. And the whole point of this is that actually you can get them as a set or you can get them individually. But there are a bunch of sentiments like pre-printed, like Simon does. So it says pull on one side, and then there's a bunch of sentiments, but there's also blank ones that you can add your own little, like write your own greeting or stamp a little something. So the whole point of them is you can cut them out and then slip them in, you know, and you've got the little fortune cookie and then the little like fortune. So the upcoming year is going to be pretty fabulous. Don't worry, things are looking up. The fortune you seek is in another cookie. I got a giggle out of that. So yeah, and they lived happily ever after. You have a magnetic personality, etc. So just cute little sentiments, and then the option to just make your own. And then you can like personalize these, ink them up, add little faces if you want. I just got a kick out of that. I thought it was kind of cute. So that's the fortune cookie wafer dies, and then the sentiments. And then we have several more sentiments. So we have the blessings wafer die. So there's the frame, and then the inner piece, and then the letters you can use, obviously. It's all just one wafer die. So you can die cut them from multiple pieces, layer them together, use them just like this, and just keep it kind of clean and simple. So that is blessings. I'm like having a hard time kind of remembering all the names of everything. It has been a crazy day. So we've got that one, and then we have these 2. We have birthday wishes circle and winter wishes circle. So just die cuts the sentiment with this nice little circle frame. These would work really nice too if you die cut like a circle and did like a shaker card and then wanted to just inlay that in there as well. So that's an option. There's also another die that these work with really nicely too. And then same thing with the birthday wishes. Got the sentiments, I've got the little dots for the eye just kind of floating around here. But yeah, just a nice size that kind of take center stage. And of course you can never go wrong with circles. So there's those 2 sentiments. And then we have this winter foliage frame, which I really love. So it's just this large foliage frame. Move this over here. Isn't that pretty? I think this is so pretty. So we've got that. I already have it die cut from darker cardstock. I have a card like on the go while I was die cutting, like the ideas were rolling. So I'm die cutting other pieces to make cards for videos. But here I'll just do a darker one so I can kind of show like, oh, these of course go perfectly together. Like, isn't that pretty? Love it. Just love it. So I want to not lose that piece. There we go. So yeah, that is the winter foliage frame wafer die, and then the winter wishes circle and the birthday wishes circle. So we got those 2. And then we have this fabulous, this is the leafy Christmas tree, huge die set because it comes with 3 wafer dies. And when I first got it, I was like, ooh, foliage, because, you know, you can always use the leaves. I didn't see the name at first, and I was like, this is an interesting shape. Usually you have just leaf shapes. And I thought it was Christmas tree, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I die cut it, and I completely fell in love. So 3 wafer dies that die cut 3 different types, basically, of foliage. And then if you layer them together, you get a really fun Christmas tree shape. So I completely fell in love with this wafer die, and I've already filmed a video making cards with it. It's either going to go up before or after this. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Everything's crazy. But yeah, really fun wafer die set. So that's the leafy Christmas tree. Got that one. And then we have a couple of really intricate wafer dies. They are absolutely gorgeous. We have the stylized angel. So it just die cuts this gorgeous angel outline. You could inlay, you know, die cut it from multiple pieces and inlay, or use, you know, just the outline. I think it's so pretty. And then there's this gorgeous, this is the burst wafer die. And this one I was like, ooh, this could be really fun too, just to emboss. But then I was looking at the two of them together and I was like, I wonder if they meant, like I assume they meant for these to kind of coordinate and go together. But it's like you could emboss it or you can die cut it. Really intricate. Look at that. But I was like, this would look so pretty. I'm positive they meant for these to go together when they designed them, because it's just, the size is perfect. Isn't that gorgeous? Love it. Absolutely love it. I think this is so pretty. So really, really gorgeous. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you guys. I highly recommend, where did it go? There it is. I highly recommend, if you don't already have one, depending on the die cut machine you have, because they all vary. I have the Simon Says stamp. This is just the metal shim. I add this to my sandwich stack on my Platinum 6 when I am die cutting wafer dies like this. So I'll have my stack, like with the Platinum 6, it's pretty basic. It's just the platform, and then normally you have the die cutting plate, your cardstock, then your wafer die, and then a die cutting plate. When I'm doing really intricate dies like this, especially ones like this that are just so incredibly intricate, I add Simon's metal shim, and I just add it there, like so. Then I would have like my cardstock, my wafer die, plate, run it through my machine. So I know Spellbinders doesn't recommend using a metal plate. I do. I find it works great. And I'm just able to get, with the really, really intricate dies like that, it just cuts like butter. So again, I will hopefully remember to link to this one. For me, it's a game changer. I know the Gemini Junior and Gemini machines come with a metal shim already, and I use that as well when I'm like doing die cut, if I'm using those machines. So when it comes to really intricate wafer dies, or some of the larger wafer dies, etc., it does make a difference. So that is the burst wafer die, and then that one's the stylized angel wafer die. And then I have so many more. This was a huge release, you guys. It was so amazing. Okay, so we have 3 different types of basic shapes that are actually outlined. So we have the circle thin frames, we have the A7 thin frames, and we have the A2 thin frames, which I've cut apart. I didn't die cut all of these. Like I said, I was already die cutting a ton, but it's basic. So I die cut the largest from the A2, and the great thing about this is it die cuts the frame. So you can use just the frame, you know, keep it kind of simple. But then you're also left with the inner piece. So you kind of get 2 for 1, in my opinion. So I like that. You've got all the different shape or different sizes within. With the A2, obviously the biggest one is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Here's my, so this largest frame is literally just the size, like 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So then this, the piece that's left over from die cutting, is just slightly smaller. So it's kind of nice. I can see myself using this one a lot just so I can get the mat, you know? So I've got like that kind of perfect. I always like to usually die cut my card fronts slightly smaller than the base so that I get that little bit of a frame. So I'll probably use this one a lot just to do that. But again, you've got all the sizes. So if you want just a frame, you can also just emboss those into your cards, like use a smaller one. And like the embossing mat, you can emboss rather, and then just have that to frame your you know, image or sentiment or whatever. So we've got the A2 ones, then we have the A7. So the largest one is 5 by 7 inches. Same idea, cuts a frame, and then you're left with the inner pieces in all those staggering sizes. And then the circles, the biggest one is quite large. This is a really big set. It is 5.5 inches. Yeah, so about 5.5 inches. So big, really big. So for like scrapbooks and stuff, I think that'd be really nice. Or you can use just like partial, you know. But again, here's an A2 card. That's how big that is. So the biggest one is huge in this set, and then you've got all the staggering sizes of circles. So yeah, it'll cut the frame, and then you're left with the inner portion. Which pieces like this, if I'm using just a frame, I save these for die cutting other things, or when I want just a circle. There we go, it's already die cut. So those are the thin frames sets, and then we have a new little picture book character. This is the picture book Mocha. I think this was last year. Yeah, 2018. There was the big picture book latte wafer die, which is just one die, and it's quite a bit bigger than this little guy. So this is one of the larger ones, and like I said, it's one wafer die. This little picture book Mocha is 2 wafer dies. So you've got the cup and this little face, and then the like whipped cream topper is separate, which I really like with this one, because then you can use just the little cup, so it can be a coffee cup, a tea cup, whatever, or you can add the whipped cream and you can like pop that up, you know. So I just thought that was cute that it's 2 separate wafer dies, so then it just kind of gives you more options, in my opinion. So that's the picture book Mocha. And then those out of there. We have this huge, this is the lined U. So you've got 2 wafer dies in this set, and they are huge. Takes up the bulk of your card. So you have the outline, solid piece, and then you have the lined piece that I die cut just from white and adhered on top. Again, another one of those ones that takes up like your entire card, and then you can just add like, thank you, you are great, you are amazing, you know, it's all about you. I like that a lot. So that's the lined U wafer die. And then we've got a couple sentiments from CZ Design in very CZ Design style. We have the thank you wafer die, again, word and outline. Love it. Love it. And then we have the proud of you wafer die. Same thing. The words and then the outline. So you've got those sort of options just in her style and the font she uses in a lot of sets and her wafer dies, which I just can never seem to get enough of. So we've got those 2. And then we have the world needs wafer die. The world needs more people like you. So another one that is nice and large, and again, it's the sentiment and the outline together. So you have the solid outline, and then the words are all like connected, so it's pretty easy to put this together. You don't have to sit and fiddle with like individual letter, individual piece. The words literally are just all one piece, and then the one little dot to the eye, and that's it. So this came together no problem. So there's that one. And then we have another leaf cluster. This is the 3rd one now, because there was just a plain outline one, and then there was a solid one that came out years ago. So now we have the detailed leaf cluster, and it's huge, and it's just gorgeous. Love it. This is a nice one too if you do make larger cards. It's such a nice size, but I usually will, you know, use these on my cards and then just cut it off or let it hang off the edges depending on what I'm doing. It's just gorgeous. Isn't that gorgeous? Love it. So got that one. And then this one is really neat. This is the Flower Swag wafer die. And again, 2 wafer dies. So you have this edging wafer die that's just shy of 4 1/4 inches. And then you have the like actual flower swag, which I've already die cut. So I die cut the edge here from a piece of A2 cardstock. And then what you could do with it is just line it up, you know, line up the edge in your paper trimmer. So you could mat this onto, you know, a different card base, layer it with some paper, or create this as your edge, like for an opening. So you got that. Like I said, you could have it fold over and have that. I know Jennifer McGuire did a video about that sometime. I just remember the card front being slightly smaller and like folding up. Something. Anyway, so you got that. And then this fits literally, I keep forgetting how this is supposed to fit, right in there. Just like so. Isn't that neat? So then you could have a sentiment, like cut it even shorter if you wanted. And then like have a sentiment, have some pattern paper, etc. Isn't that pretty? I think that's so pretty. So that was the flower swag. And that, I think that was everything. You never know. Like I said, it's been a long day. I will have links though. As always, I'll have links in the description box below the video. I'll have them on my blog. It'll be picture links on my blog, so it's easier to see everything. So you can check that out below. It's the first link directly below the video. And then I will have videos coming using these products. There are blog hops with the design team. I'm in the first day of blog hops because yes, I designed for Simon. These were all sent to me by Simon. I don't have to do these videos. I just choose to. A lot of you ask me to. One, I enjoy doing them, and then because I like to see everything, and then a lot of you ask me to do these videos because same thing. You like seeing them like in person rather than just an image on a website. That's why I do what I do. So, yeah, all the links will be below. I will link to the things. I think, oh, there were some enamel pins that were released. Some like picture book enamel pins, like Christmas ones. I thought they were adorable. So those were released, and maybe 1 or 2 other die sets. But I will have links to all of them below, as well as, like I said, on my blog. I'll link to the release, etc. And then just stay tuned, because I'll have videos coming with cards and whatnot. So thank you guys so much for watching, for subscribing, for thumbs upping, commenting, all of it. I really appreciate it. I will see you all very soon in the next video. Bye.